So the way that I would evaluate whether a game is great is probably the same way that I would evaluate if a company is great or a business is great. And that would be, like many people have already said, if there's like passion involved. But one of the most easy corollaries on if someone is quote unquote passionate about something is if someone is solving, if the product or service that someone is building is meant for them, meaning they're building the game that they want built into the world. They're a fan of it, and it is their mission to manifest this thing that they've always wanted into the world. That is what I would think is what makes a great founder. It makes a great company direction, and it makes something great. Now to try to bring this into game development, um, in terms of what a company will do if they really have that really strong value tie to what they're building and the passion that they have behind it, is it means they'll do the things that don't really scale. They'll do the things that are very small and are probably when you weigh out the pros and cons, not worth doing, but it actually makes sense to do because they want to make sure it's as perfect as possible. And in a business, you may say, okay, we've gotten two or three customer complaints and customer service tickets that came in about this very small thing. So I'm going to go ahead and build something for it or build a feature that makes sure that this small subset of people that have found my product or service confusing or not intuitive or a little hard to manage easier. I think the way that kind of translates into game development is the very small things. Sound design in like very small areas versus like wide open spaces, or sound design whenever you're like in hallways. It can go towards the amount of tutorials that you put into the game to just make sure that everyone's on board. It can translate to maybe animations and the depth of lore that happens inside of the game. Those little things that, when you weigh out the pros and the cons, may not seem scalable, are done through sheer passion because they feel that this is something that they want done because the quality is something that they can measure, like the time that they put it in their life too, is really where it comes from. That is where I think about it. And I think there are words that we use to explain all of these things, like immersion or maybe high quality or all of these things that people can go to, like atmospheric. But overall, that's my opinion there.